Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Canucks with the Guitars. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. Leave a thumbs up and all that fun stuff. Say hi in the chat. Private message. What? Yep, exactly. Yep, perfect. There's a new thing on the chat. I don't know what this is. I got stars I can click on over people. I don't know what that is. We'll find out in a minute here. Let's get to, let's see. I'm Ben. This is Terry. That's Tom. In the chat, we have Hip Metalworks, T. Ricky, Dan of New Jersey, Charles 75, and Thunder Falcon. Symmetry, Matthew Stewart. Let's see, BC Rich 581. Let's choose him as the first one to hit a star. What happens when I hit a star after your name? What did that do?
I don't know.
Didn't seem to do anything. It turned it blue on my thing. Oh,
I think when you
start.
I think
So I go over here. It says you can star important comments so you remember to discuss them during the show. No shit. Oh, so we can pin it. Oh, okay. So it's a private pinning, Terry. Like a little clipboard thing.
Is that in the live stream or is that actually in YouTube?
That's in StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have, you know how you have your two tabs for private chat and other comments? That's it. I have comments, and then as soon as I started one of them, it made another tab. So that's cool. Martin Lemaire's here. Milt T, Cool Tunes Made Easy. Absolute Mayhem, Guitar Man 45. Said hi to all you folks, because then it skipped ahead again. Perfect. Bent Tom's here, apparently. And Terry's 3Gs, both of them and on camera. Charles 75N, this Sunday's guest. Not last Sunday's guest. That was Sean Hurwitz. That was fun, too. Terry Himes. Let's see, who else? What are we all talking about? Laz is here. Why do I have no more comments? There they go. All right. There's All Dave, All Night, and Tim Thomas. Sure.
You're supposed to kick that Bent Tom guy out, man. He's just been nothing but a troublemaker ever since you showed up.
Well, I thought by bring him on the camera and keep him out of the chat. That's the only reason you co-host, Thomas, so I can keep my eyes on you.
Like the kid that sits near the front, and they're like, is that the smartest kid? No. Teacher needs to keep an eye on him.
He used to sit in the back row.
I used to sit in the back row, then they moved me up front. It wasn't because I was smart.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
Hey, Eric. Eric Salinas. Yes, let's go with that. Sweet. All right. Well, it's going to be coming up in a minute or so. We've got a special video proof, yet again, that a certain friend of this channel, moderator to the stars, and us, special little video about him. So if we have, I don't know, we got 23 watching. Really, that's it? Was there Monday Night Foosball going on or something? I don't know. But we need at least 20 thumbs up, is what I'm saying. And then we'll play the video. So get your friends. Now we're down to 22 watching. Sure.
Wow.
How's that happen? I don't know.
Maybe it's the
I just checked the stats for the thumbs up, and it said there's 27 views on the show. So people are already dipping in and out. I don't know. I don't get it. Don't care. How's Twang's here? That's all that matters. So Mayhem's good at giving us the heads up on the thumbs ups. So is Terry, for that matter.
22. Excuse me.
All right. Well, screw it. Let's show the video because it's a late night it's a late night where the subject of this video. I'm just pussyfooting around, I know. Video file. That's what I want to choose. And then I choose this. And then I click this.
Buddy, I need to thank in particular Bebe, who's here moderating for us again today. I think, let's see, I actually prepared for this. You can think of Bebe as my equal partner here because I don't think I've ever stumped him, not once. And I've got a Bebe transition image here. There, that's Bebe. So if you're
actual photographic proof
that he exists.
Continent, you'll know that's him. That's him. So thanks to Bebe for being here as a moderator to the stars as he is.
I want to meet him so bad. I just want a picture of him.
So for those who don't know, that's Keith from 5 Watt World. Definitely. Shout out to the one and only legend. The legend forwarded that off to me. He goes, I thought your chat might get a little chuckle at that.
That's
Says
good.
Tom and Terry might find it funny too. I said, yeah, well, I find it hilarious. So.
Ben, my only guess for the real identity of BV is that there's security reasons. If you're at that level that all those people, there's security reasons why you just don't want to say I'm John
Well,
Smith.
that's why
You know what I mean?
and I'm surprised. Keith did in fact show his passport
know.
photo here on YouTube, but
and in 4K because we're broadcasting in 4K, so it was 4K.
Oh dear Lord, pops!
Oh dear.
Oh
Lord.
God.
We'll be
There
good.
he is, Quentin.
Oh, carpooling with.
What's up, Tony? Tony came in. They were out back smoking that jazz cabbage.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Jazz
Michael Keith apparently broadcasts on lower volume. I don't have that was maxed out volume.
I could hear it fine. I don't know about anyone else, but
Yeah. So, how do I get rid of that now? Now it's down below. Remove from studio. It's weird. I can share videos, but I bring them in like a guest, and they just start playing as soon as you grab it. There we are. Now we have 28 watching. Well,
Well, there has been a lot of changes with StreamYards over the last couple weeks. So
yes, there has.
there's a lot
And
of-
I was just thinking randomly because he is falling asleep. And those who didn't catch that, that's our friend BV or Beve, depending on how you say it. Apparently, he's the Beeve to us, and he's having a late night. So, good night, buddy. I know you're barely awake. He said he was going to catch the replay, so go ahead and play it. So we did. There we are. And
Sleep
those
well.
tuning in later,
Sleep well,
you're going to
my
have to
friend.
watch the first few minutes,
Much
like
love.
Vin's RJ.
I don't know how he actually gets anything in real life done. My guess is what you told me a couple months ago. He's probably just working every time when you see him moderating or just hopping in a chat. You know what I mean?
yeah, probably.
I used to do that when I worked at the vape shop. Terry knows that. The two of us would be moderating, and then we'd also have Facebook Messenger open. I'm like, dude, I got customers, so I'll just dip out of the chat, type thing, and you wouldn't know the difference. And then all of a sudden, I'm back 5 minutes later. Hey.
That's funny.
Even funnier is when you're on your lunch break and you're there at the vape shop and
Hey,
you're
boy.
like, wait a second, folks, I got to deal with a customer. So then you'd see Ben off dealing with the customer while the
'cause
stream's still
sometimes I
going
would
away.
just do my lunch break. Other times I'd be like, well, let's go live until we get a customer.
Yeah.
'Cause, it could be an extra 15 minutes. Why not? Is it Friday yet? Tony asks. It's Friday somewhere, I guess. Dwight Bailey in the house.
Hey, Dwight.
Randy Crooks.
Could be reverse. You could think of today as Friday. Depending on how your work week goes, today could be
Well-
a Friday.
As the song goes, Terry, nothing matters but the weekend from a Tuesday point of view.
There you go. I gotta write that one down.
That would have been, what was that? The Kings that did Switch into Glide? / beat goes on.
I always
Hey,
ask
Mahogany, thank you very much. Sean is always a blast to have on. We were talking about that off air. Yeah, Terry, as soon as he jumped onto it, he goes, that show last night, that was fun. I'm like, yeah, it was.
It was so
You know-
We
cool.
learned some really cool information. I didn't think Smash Mouth was still going to continue on. I thought, but
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounded to me like what you were saying was that they were done, and then he's saying that they're not. So it's like, Then again, in this day and age, if you can pull in money, you'll keep.
well,
work
that's
together.
the thing. And excuse me. So I'm wondering, does he retain some form of, it's sort of like
A
what we
retainer.
hear Kiss is rumored to do, where, eventually Gene and Paul will step away. They will be replaced. But
Right,
the Kiss
right.
thing, the Kiss show will go on. It's not Brad Guitar Miller.
You know what my takeaway was from last night?
What's that?
Now I want to play an Avi Shabbat guitar because I hear them from everyone in LA that they're the best.
Every time he's on, he's like, "Oh, you got to come and try these next time you're in LA." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's like right there. Not.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy Upchurch. Southern Illinois.
What's up,
I have
Brad?
been
You
through
from
Southern
there?
Illinois
Brad.
because I flew into Midway, which is south of Chicago.
Yep.
Drove south to Aaron's house, and then got up the next day and drove south, and then eventually turned left, and we ended up in Nashville.
Nice.
There's down and back with Corn Doug. Speaking of which, heads up, folks, I'm busy tomorrow night. The half dozen of you that tune in, NAS Canucks, not so much tomorrow night. I got to adult. I have adulting to do. So, yeah. Apparently.
Milwaukee.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Nice.
Michael Krause. The answer is yes. I don't know. I was just thinking, does Gene turn into that tour manager? He wouldn't be out on the road. It's like, that's just with the sunglasses and the suit and.
Yep.
He would be, but he'd be the tour manager that always stays behind and then calls and says, so, that show you played last night? I need you to not. Right?
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age.
Since he can't hear us. There. Actually, I should have typed it into the other chat because then I can show it on the screen to make sure he sees it.
That's funny.
All right. So for those that are listening, sorry. Those that are watching. Yeah. This kind of reminds me how Wednesday's video went. Shot it already. Told the guys. There's a lot of isms in it. Aaron's going to love it. Charles is good. Charles, please have a cold snack before watching it. Or during.
Oh.
Watch it during the second half of the cold snack.
Hey,
Just
before,
saying.
during, and after. Why not?
Yeah. And I have, I say, Charles is coming on next Sunday, and I'll throw it out tonight. I watched his latest tele build, and it says right in the description, no cold snacks were harmed during the making of this video. Gotta like a fella that says something like that, And so I said a cold snack was harmed while watching this video.
Hug Rotten's watching live from the shed, apparently.
Literally woodshedding.
Well, as long as it's a woodshed, not the sugar shed.
Well, he's up in
Well,
northern Maine, right? Where it's like minus -1 billion already, and he's all hunkered in for winter.
Sorry, full winter, yeah.
Nice, Charles. Nice. Yeah, Charles has built himself a little Telecaster-shaped object. He's got it wired like my 71 with the 4-way switch, and went with a tortoise shell guard on blonde. Never a bad luck, in my opinion. Never a bad luck. Basically, he's built one that. Hey, there's Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
Eddie Van Haskell.
Magic Man having Thai food.
One of the longest-standing
Okay.
subscribers to this channel. He somehow came across me on week 2, I think.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 3.
I can't remember if Eddie found you through me or...
No, I think Eddie actually showed up. You and I were aware of each other, Terry, but you came over about 3 months after I started because you're like, oh, you're actually making videos and not just thinking about making videos. Because I would just say hi to everybody in the chat, but I wasn't like, hey, I make videos, because you don't do that unless you have permission from the channel host. We've been over that. That was a lot in 2018 and 2019. Some people just don't get that.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you came in, I think, around June, I want to say. May or June. It was late spring into summer. And Eddie, he was right there. I was just like, oh, okay. Before I even started going live from the vape shop, Eddie was watching the weekly when we were just doing the weekly show on Thursdays originally.
Yeah, I mean, when you get on YouTube for so long, you can't remember some stuff compared to like
Ooh.
other things.
The only thing I can remember watching when it was really like a real low level is I started watching Pete Thorne when he had like 400 or 600 subs.
Right.
And he was in that little house, you know, with the weird steps behind him. And I remember I started watching that pedal show. I think they had like 600 subs. And they were small forever. It's weird.
I remember when that was still on like the Gig Rig channel before they started that pedal show's channel.
Daniel the Gig Rig, yeah.
Yeah. So Martin Lemaire, New Gear Day, M Audio BX8A monitor.
Nice.
Cool.
Monitor.
That sounds good.
And just because he'll text me pestering because I didn't highlight. You know what to do.
Not aware of that, Doug.
Apparently, yeah.
They're on this sweet.
Yeah, Charles, you've been around a long time too. That's right. I always forget. Charles has been around. Oh, he's been around. Like, forgot about that.
He misses a big outfit.
2A, $200 on Amazon.ca.
Nice. There's a question. Yeah, there's a question for those in the chat. Who watched when I still worked at the vape shop? Because I think I left there right around the time you joined the channel, right, Tom? Like, I think because it was after my last NAMM trip, and I didn't work there much after that. But when I was working at the
I think I saw you like watched you at the vape shop like once or twice, maybe once.
Yeah.
And that might have been a replay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I mean,
hey,
a
replay
at the time. You know. What's up?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, like because I stopped working there around Thanksgiving of 2019, 18. Yeah. And then I worked there. Then I worked at the Trenton store for like 4 months, but I never went live from there or anything. They're too busy like that. So see if anybody mentions in the chat if they have, or I did, or.
There you go. Eddie Van Haskell said,
yeah, Mayhem for sure, because that's how Mayhem met me, because he was a regular at the vape shop.
That's cool.
Oh, I forgot. Live guitar
Sir Lawrence of the Pedals. I need to get like a...
So apparently, first up, Magic Man asks if anyone's tried the Keeley Ox Blood.
Yeah, Guitar Man 45. Like, that's the thing. If you caught a live thing or watched it on replay of me from the vape shop, basically, that's what I'm curious on. Like back when it was in Napanee, I would either usually play guitar or did some Q&A. Mayhem guested on occasion.
Yeah, that was true.
Outside the shop. He'd pop into the shop and he's like, "You taking your lunch yet?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "You want to do a live show?" He's like, "All right." So I was like, "Live with Absolute Mayhem."
I remember that. I'm not supposed to be on a break, but there's no customers around. So how you doing, Mayhem?
Yes, you did, Eddie. He's like, "Is that vanilla scented car exhaust?" Because I will be honest, especially when you see a cloud of vapor from a vape, it looks like a car exhaust on a cold morning.
Yeah,
well, pretty much.
Especially if you live in the colder parts, like where we are in Canada, because of course everyone else in the world thinks that Canada is Alaska.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
They really do.
So we've got Magic Man's picking up an Ox Blood for a decent deal tomorrow. Nice. Yes, you do, Mayhem. Thunder Falcon just listed an Epi Jason Hook M4 Explorer on eBay. There we go.
Wow. It's weird because that has a lot of good reviews.
Yes, Guitar Man 45, when we used to do the show from Richie's house.
Oh, God.
I was chatting with him earlier. He apparently he resurrected, what was it, like a Granada Les Paul knockoff that our friend Dan owned. Dan that passed away a month ago, 2 months. Yeah, it was 2 months today or yesterday. Excuse me. And this guitar was used as a decoration for like 20 years at like in a boathouse or something like that. And then Dan decided to take it and try to resurrect it and never quite finished it. And then so Rich got a hold of it apparently, and he took a look at it and he says, well, it took a piss ton of contact cleaner, but the neck was surprisingly straight, and I really dig the sound of the pickups. The thing plays great. So he resurrected the guitar. He offered it to his cousin Ashley, and now he's regretting that. He's like, I kind of want to keep it. He goes, I kind of prefer it to my Gibson. And he's got what's it, like an LPJ, one of those, it says Gibson, it appears to be a Les Paul, but it's barely a Les Paul, I guess, because they're like half the price. They're cheaper than studios.
Yeah, the LPJ series. It's funny because he had the SGJ that he traded to me right before that. Right.
So
actually, no. Maybe the current one's a tribute. Maybe that's what it is, because it's a burst.
I think you're right. I think he does have. I think it is a tribute
with P90s.
Yeah, tribute was done with P90s.
I think that's what he has, a tribute with P90s, because that's his P90 guitar. I think.
Let's see.
What's the LPJ designation? Was it made in Japan?
No, I don't know why they called it the LPJ, but a lot of them, they were a plain top, and remember they had that satin red, the trans red. I like that one. Richie had one of those, I remember. And because he's a professional painter by trade, he just buffed it out to a shine anyways. And all of a sudden, boom, it looked like a trans red studio.
Yeah.
You could not, because that's the only difference, basically, as far as I could tell. Maybe it had crappier pickups, but he replaced the pickups in it anyway. So
it's like a Les Paul studio, but they were the ones that had that matte finish.
Yeah, and I think you could get them in. Yeah, it was like a matte black or the transparent. And I dig transparent red on guitars. It works. Yeah. It's a finish you can throw on basically any guitar. Especially, and it doesn't have to be if it's a nice top. You think like some of those PRSs that are trans red with a beautiful top, or one of the Slash Les Pauls they did in the red, trans red, and it looks great. Or a plain top looks just as good in trans red.
You know what I always think to myself though, like I gotta sit there and try to pick the one that just plays the best, because it's kind of like a car that looks good. When you're in the car driving it, you're not looking at it. When you're playing the guitar, you're not looking down at the body.
Yeah,
it's weird that people don't shop for guitars that have really good looking necks, but that would make more sense because you're looking at the neck a lot more than you're ever looking at the body.
Yeah, the Dash J series Gibsons were pretty much the predecessor for what the Epi Fades are.
Oh, okay.
So
faded. That's what they. Okay, yeah, I remember them calling them.
Yeah, that. It was basically a cheaper version of their faded series.
Oh, right. Okay. Hey, Blackjack.
Hello to Blackjack Guitar.
Yep.
And also, we had a question. Hog Rotten asks, Ben, yes. Is that a PV behind you? There's more than one PV behind me. There's the PV Classic, which is the one I assume you're talking about. And then over this shoulder, boom, there's a little PV bass amp.
There's also DMAC asked at 824, hey guys, any advice on a new fuzz pedal? I've got an EHX Big Muff Russian, and it's cool, but wouldn't mind trying something different. Any recommendations?
How much you want to spend?
Yeah. Fuzz. All right, dude, you want cheap fuzz or expensive fuzz? Because I've already decided you're getting a fuzz face of some kind. You've already got the muff circuit, so you might as well go for it.
I have two to recommend to you. Or no, three.
You want to get boutique-y, get Lawrence to make a one-off Soleil if he can, but I don't think he can.
You want to get super boutique-y, get a a Sun Face, and if you can get a Sun Face NKT by Analog Man, but it's going to
Yep.
run you like $900. Now,
Or
if you
just-
want like $30, Ben, what do you think?
Well, I was thinking even they got there's a variety of Dunlop / MXR
Like in the 90 to 100
reissue round. Yeah, they got the little ones, the not little ones,
yeah,
the bigger ones.
Yep.
So you got your variety of round ones
They're all
made by
like, what,
Dunlop /
100 and a half, something
MXR.
like that?
There's that Behringer fuzz that everyone seems to like, but I
That's
don't know if
what I
that's
feel
based off a
about
muff or a fuzz face.
I think that's.
But people dig it. And it's apparently
they
They say
$25
it's based
new,
off like
apparently
that Boss.
It's based off of
SZ
the
Fuzz.
Boss FZ2, which
Right.
is based off of a Chennai Super Fuzz.
Thank you, because I didn't know what it was bossed off
right.
of. Bossed off of. Yeah, let's
But I
go
mean,
with
it's
that.
the one that Pete Thorne was using on his board forever, the FZ2. It's that exact clone of a
A lot of
Surface.
people dig that fuzz.
I bought one for like $25 and it's great. The only
Yeah,
thing is
I've
you gotta
never-
be careful if you're giggling because it's very, very cheaply made plastic. But the circuit sounds great. Just be careful with it.
Yeah.
I will say I did run a Behringer pedal on my board for years, but it was a noise gate and it was always on. So I wasn't stepping on it a lot, but
Yeah,
it had the
it's
risk of
using-
being stepped on,
Right.
and it was still getting transported around.
Yeah.
So it was getting beat and banged around. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, totally belong. Yeah, Chennai Super.
Unbelievable. And
I
Justin Cox in Utah. And Dale Boyle Music.
I was actually just
so-
going to say
but-
what Billy Baloney suggested, which is a JHS 3 Series Fuzz, but I was going to also suggest their other broader series that is like, was it 3 or 5 of them?
Was
that
it
are
like the
done in
bonsai? Is that the
ones
one with
that
all
are
the
done in the
fuzzers?
triangle.
Oh, yeah. There's those
wedge
triangles.
enclosures.
I have the little Dunlop Mini Hendrix Fuzz, and it's great because I think it was $99. I got it 10% off, so it was like $91 at a guitar show, but like about $100. But it has a switch too. You can go between silicon and germanium.
So, Unbelievable bought a little Traveler guitar.
Cool.
And the tuners, it's a little tough, especially to
Something to be
restring.
desired.
Because they're like back here and all in there. I had it bookmarked for last night, but then I forgot and I closed it. Oh wait, he sent me a link, I think.
And my last suggestion is if you want a sustainer / booster type thing,
Right.
definitely check out the AHX Big Muff Pi OP amp fuzz. I've actually been enjoying it. The video I put up just earlier before
All
the
right, that's
show
how you
started.
do that.
I
So,
used it a bit more.
first of all, I saw Mr. Sexy Pants himself in here. Him. Haven't seen a menage this hot since this morning. Hey, Bang Brothers. I hope everyone's great and stay healthy. Ben Tom, looking good, man.
Thanks, Boner.
That's Sexy Tom to you, Boner.
Jams.
All right. So share screen. That's what I'm doing. So I told him I would do this yesterday. All right. So share screen. I was thinking about smoking another bowl, but I clearly do not need it.
Boner Jams has not had Big Muff Pie in a long time.
And I highly doubt that Boner James.
All right. So this is what he got. No, we don't want notification. No, you can't know where I am. Piss off.
Holy crap, that's not cheap.
Yeah, it's also got a clearance, I noticed. Clearance. So anyways,
It's on
so that's it. And I did notice, like, I think this is the missing link, weak link. I don't know. Let's see. Can we get a better picture? How are you?
It's an LP Junior acoustic.
All right, this is not what I want to do. Okay. Oh, I can do that, though. There we are. Hey, check that out. I don't
Nice.
know how I did that, but we'll go with it.
I think I've seen something similar
So
before.
he wants to put locking tuner. I need a better photo. That's the problem. Let's get out of here.
You're not going to be
Oh,
able to get
there's the one I
locking
want.
tuners. You're not
Aha.
gonna get. Thanks for the super chat, Magic Man.
So I'm looking at that because I'm not looking at Terry or the chat. I don't know if you could fit locking tuners in here.
That's what I said. You're not going to get locking tuners in
Maybe
there.
mini Grover locking tuners, which I think might be used on some acoustics. I don't know. But mini, I don't know. Other than, yeah, those are way
That
too
would
dull.
be. That would
That's
be.
what I'm thinking.
too-
I don't know. Clearance. It's that clearance.
That
Unless
looks
you
like
can,
a
I don't know.
really
Is
tight
this?
fit.
Do you need this right here? We hog
Yeah,
this
can you-
out?
Can you cut that out?
Then you got lots of room, and
Yeah.
it'll be lighter, weight relief, because you need that on travel guitar. So
Also,
anyway,
it's a weird angle how that photo is. So I mean, you can't really tell like how like it looks like it has an opening,
Thanks
and
for
if
the
that
chat, Magic
opening
Man.
is deep enough to get the tuner in, then maybe there's enough room. But I mean, otherwise, yeah. I mean, most like locking tuners are relatively like.
now we should mention. I understand Magic Man, not a fan. For those who don't know, and I know because I'm friends with Unbelievable on the Book of Faces, and he checks in at places. He does a lot of traveling, and he plays guitar. So he's a good candidate to have a travel guitar. So I get
Yep.
it. It's, believe me, you're not buying it to gig. You're buying it. May need to show up from the back. Well, now I see that after I closed all that. All right, well,
You rock too, Magic Man.
yes, and well wishes, positive vibes, buddy. I know you're going through some tough stuff that I went through myself this time last year. So for those who know. And those who don't, pay attention. A Kiesel headless, but then you have to own a Kiesel, Magic Man. Haha. I say that as he's
But
this
aren't
like
Kiesel
second
lo-
one on the way now or something.
Aren't Kiesels a lot more than $700 though? Like I don't know if I'd want an expensive guitar like sitting in a hotel room where anyone can, get in with a master key,
Well,
I
we
think
got
the
56
cheapest
people watching now.
Kiesel is
Since we
like
have twice the people that were
900.
watching at the start of the show, I want to mention at the start of the show we played a little video. So after this is done, go back and watch the first 5 minutes or so. So just watch. It's a funny little video involving our friend the Beeve. Easy with the wind out there. Somebody in the chat mentioned earlier it was windy, and I knew they're west of me. Well, apparently it's here.
Yeah, it is really windy.
Travel guitar was great when I drove semi-truck. Hog Rotten says, yeah.
If you
I can
drove
see that.
semi-truck, you should have all kinds of room for a full acoustic. Never mind a travel one.
Yeah, but you'd want to put it in the case. You wouldn't want it out necessarily.
Eh. What are you worried? A lot lizard's gonna steal it on you?
No, it's more climate. Jostled around. You got to hit
Well-
the brake. You don't want to sliding off the bed, smacking the back of the seat and breaking the headstock.
True.
I've had some friends that are trucker. I would have maybe a parlor guitar, classical guitar, something like that to noodle
That'd be
around
nice.
on.
Yeah.
Or Steinberger, Trans Tram.
I know people think like, oh, it's, because I'm into vintage stuff and like analog and like all
Hey,
the
Les.
acoustics. But for the sake of traveling, I think like a more modern acoustic that's like, even if it's full laminated but has like a thick finish, because you're going to, exposing it to the elements, you're going to do a lot better that way. Even if you get, more modern acoustic with like graphite rod, double locking graphite rod, truss rod, I think it makes more sense than trying to get the best sounding one for the road, because
Yeah.
how good is it going to sound if the neck goes and turns into a boat? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ooh. The Godin, like the one Larry Mitchell plays. One of those. They're nice because they're thin too,
Or
right?
even like one of those ovations they made, the lesser country brand, the Applause.
Can't play innovation if it's got the tortoiseshell back thing.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they slide right out from under me.
Oh, they do. I've never played one. I always see them, but
Oh yeah,
Two
I can't
people
do it.
bring up great points. If you get the carbon fiber acoustic,
there you go. There
you
go.
don't have to worry about it breaking.
That's probably the smart. I would, yeah.
Well, put it this way, Tom.
I would
My
agree
easiest
with that.
analogy for playing Innovation is like me trying to sit on a yoga ball for more than a minute and a half.
Oh,
It just starts eventually. You eventually, yeah. Oh, Chris is sending photos. Colorful photos.
mid-70s Les Paul. Those are good traveling guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're overweight. All right.
I'll tell you what,
I
that-
already clicked on-
And
oh,
also
there we
good to defend yourself with.
Your trailer's
Right.
13 pounds overweight. No, that's just my Les Paul.
go. Oh, there is not a lot of room there, Chris.
No.
I'm saying
Even
people.
from that other picture you showed, you could tell there was.
I didn't say that out loud, did I? We'll get to Mayhem's Christmas question in a minute.
Christmas questions. Breathing treatments.
Exactly. Just playing the glass saxophone.
Hi, Rory.
Hi, Rory.
Hey, Rory.
Messenger? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it does a preview. So there we go. That's from the back. Although it looks more from the front to me. That is the front. All right. How?
Yeah,
No, I don't.
there's-
Oh, can I? Can I? Yes. There we go. That's
Mm.
the other photo. So they didn't want to show off somebody's actual real name on here because, by closing back to the chat. So there it is. I don't think you got the room.
No.
Do not think you have the room.
She's a tight fit.
That's what she said.
I mean, Godo makes a walking one that has a
Boom!
really
James.
small thing. Like a small, locking mechanism
Oh, the 12.
screw thing. But it
Ooh,
still
ooh.
would be hard because of the housing.
All right. Somebody's got to make note of this because I like this idea. The 12 Pedals of Christmas. So the last Monday before Christmas, we'll do pedals released this year. Oh, screw it. We can do it right now because I'm sure nothing's coming out between now and Christmas. That means we each have to pick 4 pedals. 4 pedals that came out this year. That'll be the 12 Pedals of Christmas and a beer in a tree. All right. Let me stretch over. LPD Cascade and LPD Offset and the LPD title. Yeah, I did it. And that's not actually out yet.
Welcome, Scott, and congrats on getting the vintage
I know
Super
like 3
Fuzz
or
guy.
4. I got this.
What? And I'm going to just throw it out there, even though I was slagging his company last week. Josh got some every rat you ever wanted in a box.
Mm.
The Rat Pack, that's what it was. I'll throw that one out as my 4th because after using that, Tom, you'll realize you don't need every rat that was ever made. You realize you only need 2 or 3 tops.
Right.
All right. Terry, 4 pedals that caught your eye this year. Sup, Pete? I was thinking about you today, buddy.
4 pedals that caught my eye this year.
4 pedals.
Ugh.
Like you're walking along, it was like,
Or Tom,
Try.
or I could come up with more if you guys need. Thank you, House of Twang. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, House Twang. I'd have to say, like I said, that JHS line of those various remakes of those various fuzz pedals.
Mm-hmm. All right, does that count as one?
Let's see what else.
Ooh. I thought of another one. I can give it to you if you want.
Sure.
When Keeley did the mini compressor, because the Keeley compressor is really good, and he compressed it. I'd throw that one up there. That was a cool one. MXR Deep Phase. That's new. I haven't had a chance to play with it, but I'd throw that one on the list. There's 6. Jesus, I'm gonna polish off 12 before Tom gets back. Let's throw out that fuzzy, because I ended up buying the damn thing, the Soleil Fuzz that Lawrence did. That was sweet.
Yes, actually, I did like that.
But I remember you remarking on that because you left a comment on the video, and then you messaged me, and you're like, "Dude, you're really digging that, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm digging." So, Tom,
All right.
we've added the Keeley mini compressor.
Okay.
I think great. The MXR Deep Phase and the LPD Soleil. I figure you wouldn't disagree.
Took one of mine.
Well, I figure you would use that, and you were away, and I wasn't sure how long you would be away.
No, I was going to look at my pedals. That's why. So is this a cop out if I say the custom 87 Deluxe in teal with the pink knobs? Are we talking circuits that came out this year?
Did the 87 Deluxe actually demo or come out this year, or was that late 2020?
See, I'm not sure. Okay, so I can go to
Lawrence.
How about
Lawrence,
the Embers?
Oh, the Embers. All right. See, it's going to be the 12 pedals of Lawrence.
How about the
with
Dutch?
a few extra.
Not the Last Dutchman, but how about the Dutch with the two buttons? Is that this year or last year?
I think the Dutch. Oh, the Dutch might have been last year too. I'm not sure on that, but the Embers definitely. We'll throw the Embers in there, so it's not a complete LPD fest, but still, yeah.
And what was my other pedal?
The 87 Deluxe came out December 4th, 2020. That's right.
Okay.
I remember there was the anniversary post.
He'll
Let us know probably as well on the Dutch if that was a 2021.
My years are running together now because of.
Papa Blue asks, does anyone know if the brown sound on the Katana sounds anywheres close? As I recall, I didn't think so. The Dutch was 2021, Tom, so you can count it.
I have to look one up and then I can tell you if it's, or maybe the Funky Vibe, the Sabadias pedal.
Yes, there was a new one. There was many versions of them. So yes, that would be one of my pedals.
I'm going to say the Fillmore East. That was the special edition for 2021.
Right.
That's the one I still love.
Yeah, his various vibe pedals were nice.
Like, I know you're going to say, like, I'm even more ridiculous, but from 1968 to 74, there were errors in some of the original ones compared to the original Honey Vibe from early 68. So they have a 74 version that had different capacitors, different photocells, different lamp bulbs, different resistors, and different resistors and capacitors.
I will trust Pete's opinion on this because Pete owned Wolfgang-shaped objects as well as Friedman-shaped amplifiers. So, I didn't think so.
There you go. So, Pete, do you think like the what's the other one? The Yamaha, the THR10 or whatever.
Well, if you have one of those THR10s, you just got to hit up Craig over at CHS Customs, right? Because apparently he laid down some sick patches.
Yeah.
For that, he'll hook you up.
Oh, was no, Demigorgon was last year, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
How about the that digital delay pedal?
Hey, Chris.
I love that one.
Nice to see you blow on in. I know, it's windy here too.
Next year, Flying Pickle.
Yeah, same here, Chris. And hey.
I know that I'll probably regret saying this tomorrow, the second I wake up tomorrow, but I really don't want for any pedals right now. Like, I've got so many. A couple years.
I'm other than the standard want list. Like, I'm always going to want a Gibson ES-175.
Yeah.
But as far as like, it'd be cool to check out the Deep Phase. I really dig that. But like, I need another phaser in my life. I don't. But like that's the thing, I don't need any.
But see, at least for you, you could demo all this stuff. For me, there's no good reason for me to buy.
Yeah, but even then, it's funny. Like, the better the piece of gear is, the less likely it retains views. People like the cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Let me tell you how sick I am, though. I almost bought a used, not an original Pultec, but a used variant on a Pultec EQ, just because that's like what they used on the board on the first Van Halen album. and there's a guy that goes down the rabbit hole, and he has a Pultec, a warm audio Pultec style EQ, you know, now in his rack to get the VH1 sound. And dude, let me tell you, that's the last 10%. And I was like, almost like, oh, I want to buy that, and I'm like, I can't justify buying a rack EQ that will barely be used, you know.
All right, so let's branches flying. Okay. Pete says amp sound should come from an amp, not a computer. Yeah.
That's when you know you're sick, though, when you want to put like studio rack gear in a rack to use with your guitar.
Sup, Zach?
That
Good
is
to see Zach in here. Unbelievable. I also need an LPD phaser, but you spelled phaser wrong. It's PHEHSER.
Phaser?
The phaser.
Phaser?
Yeah. Yep. Hope Lawrence wrote down those notes. What was it? A 4-knob?
Recycling bins and contents.
Yeah. Blend, tone, rate, and depth. Nobody copyright that. Keeley has some modulation coming out next year. I'd be curious to see what Robert comes up with. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not windy tomorrow, Chris. The last 2 Tuesdays, it's been windy. I've got recycling out the yin-yang. Like,
Mine is filled. Yeah.
I have 4 recycling bins because I took the ones from the old house, and when we moved in, you're supposed to leave them at the house when you move, but I said screw it because they're supposed to tear a house down, but they didn't. So I got the bin and said, hey, Scott Rockaway. And so I got all these bins, but they're all like 3.5 of 4 are full, and I don't want everything blowing, I don't know, halfway across Belleville overnight.
Oh yeah, she'll go far.
Oh, it will.
Here's one. Even though I'm not a big fan of Boss effects, but was released this year, the Boss Tonebender TB2W Wazacraft.
And you liked it.
Immediately like quadruple in price because there was not that many of them.
Yeah.
I think they're ridiculous price now used because they didn't make that many.
You know,
I'll tell you
took
what
a little less out of the mojo-ness of the Wazacraft when they brought out the Wazacraft tuner. When I found out that was real, I went, really?
I
wow.
didn't know that was real. That's, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that just sounds like an April Fool's thing.
I know.
Oh, and what else did Unbelievable want? He wanted an LPD wah. He can give you the mod. Well, he can sell you the mod. Right, Lawrence?
I'll tell you what I'd really like, but it's not a pedal. It's a large format. It's one of those Echo Fix.
Yeah, you
basically like modern controls, but it's a tape Echo.
Crybaby. Oh, and Adam D. I'll say hello to Adam D.
Yeah, there's another product. You can consider it a large multi-effects, but line 6 pod go.
What? How?
Most of the stuff I want is old. Like I'd love to have one of those old custom audio electronics 3+ preamps.
Maybe for once I can make Unbelievable drool because he always does it to me. This is what you want, buddy. You get yourself the old, what is it? Yeah, GCB 95, which sounds, it sounds. You know, it is what it is. It's your 4-amp. It's nothing fancy. And then you get a little mod from Lawrence.
I was gonna say, did you get the mod? Yeah, okay.
The mod's in there, and it's been in there a couple of years, in fact. Unbelievable. I'm just saying. You know what? You too could have this. In fact, you could have this very one because I never use it, and they're heavy. Wouldn't want to ship it though. God, what would it cost to ship a wah? I wouldn't even want to think. That's like $50, easy. $50.
It would be a wad of money.
It'd be a wad of money. Yep, it'd be a wad of money
that
indeed.
Would cost you a wad.
Yep.
That would cost you a wad.
So it still even has the feet on it. Didn't get all. Wait. I had one before. I must have sold my other one. Who did I sell my other one to? Well, I sold that to Potter. That's right. Sold it to him at Richie's Spatula party. I may have poked the bear there. So, but yeah, I've got a Lawrence modded. Well, Lawrence and me modded technically, right? Because he made the circuit, and then I had to attach the circuit. Did it wrong, and then I did it right. He's like, it's like 3 connections to solder in. How did you screw that up? I'm like, 3 is 2 more than I should do. When you have a choice, we know I don't always make the right choice. Speaking of making the right choice, we should shout out the patrons from Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
You guys get a special shout out because they're part of the sponsorship package of this show each week. They help bring content. Had to renew the StreamYard last week. Ooh, forgot about that charge, Tom. Oops. Got the plumbing bill today, too.
Kicking the pants.
Not bad. Apparently, you can get a couple of plumber and apprentice. They show up for half an hour and only cost you $250. So on that note, I want to thank Mohogany, Randy Crooks, Other Left, Absolute Mayhem, Brad Guitar Miller, Charles Green, just the other Charles over there. That's right. Cousin Todd Flowers, because I'm reading it backwards. Craig T. Tomlinson, Grumpy Mike Guitar, Blackjack Guitar, Ben Tom, Fruitcake Tony, JP Page 2, didn't see him in the chat tonight. John, ZD351, Charles 75N, unfucking believable, Knucklehead 0, Keith H, just renewed, in fact. We're chatting about that. Just got to get a new credit card. I'm like, I get it. They wear out. Joe C, Mickey Settlemeyer, Paul McNary, Symmetry, and Guitar Man 45, who just had a birthday like yesterday or something.
Nice.
So, who's forever 45. You mod your own WAS. I get it, Scott. I mod my own WAS too, apparently. With Lawrence gives me the stuff to mod it. He says, here, put this in it. Okay. Scott asked, where'd you get that awesome shirt, Tom?
I think Target.
Le Target?
Target, yeah, I think so. It's just really faded now because I don't flip it inside out like you're supposed to. When I wash shirts with prints on them, I just let them fade.
I got told to do that too, and I ignored it, and that's why I got
I don't care,
Grease Monkey Garage shirt that looks rough. It's like,
I'd rather have it be faded.
Hey, Robot Master Switch.
This one was a little faded when I got it, but now it's super faded.
Hey, Robot.
My shirt's starting to relic a bit.
What's up, Robot?
So that's.
I don't like them when they look brand new and they feel so bubbly on the front, like on the graphic. I like when it kind of blends in. Where's all the fibers wear down?
Yeah, my shirt kind of looks like I haven't washed it in a long time.
No, it looks like on the top, it looks like a gun across the top, like it's an AR-15 or something. You see what I'm saying? Like if you put a bipod on the front of it.
I thought it just looks like a microscopic image of like the Ebola virus or something.
That could be more accurate as well. Either that or like a very, very up close, high res image of lightning when it hits like the ground.
Yep.
So, actually, did you read the? No, yeah, you did read the Patreons, right?
I did, but did I miss something else? I feel like I'm missing.
Absolute Mayhem had asked question for the panel: what gear is on the Christmas wish list this year?
Well, we kind of covered that. The fact that Tom and I are like, there's no gear I'm really looking for.
Yeah, I'm good.
A piece of studio gear. Apparently, I'm getting for Christmas, and I'll probably get it sooner than Christmas because somebody really wants it out of their house right now. I'm finally getting a new chair.
Nice.
Finally getting a new chair. Yeah, which should help the hipular action, so I can do more than an hour and a half without.
Yeah.
The worst is the 2.5 hour shows where I don't realize it until I go to get up and both hips are cramped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
In my instance, well, again, money isn't where it should be or needs to be to do it, but I kind of wouldn't mind a Guild product.
Me too. I want a Guild Starfire 2 because that's my cheaper opt out to an ES175, Terry, because they're thin. Like a 335, but it's a single cut, and Starfire 2 means 2 pickups. You don't want the Starfire 1, it's just the neck pickup. That's a little too jazzy.
That's all.
You need the bridge for the twang, for the rock and the billy.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's what I was thinking was the double cut, or again, the Polara S100 or an acoustic.
Which, if you want to help a fella out, if you haven't already, watch my Joe Pass signature guitar demo, please, and give it a thumbs up. it's got almost as many thumbs downs as ups, and the comments were not pretty. I usually delete them. The jazz players really hate that demo. Really.
I'll have to check that one out. I don't remember that one.
So, yeah, I was just like, sorry. You know, they're like, you didn't even play any jazz. You don't have to play jazz on it. You ever heard of rockabilly? Dude, I love the Joe Pass mod. It sounded great. I was like, it really, like, I really bonded with it. I was like, wow, this thing sounds awesome. I could play some serious rock and roll on this thing. And since we have a lot of newer viewers, check it out. Did it last year, which I'm not planning on doing any more videos in stores until I can just hang out and do videos in stores. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the restrictions.
Unless it's like
still...
2019 all over again, where I could just do what I want and not be concerned and stuff. Plus, that I'm pretty sure that's the only way I'm ever going to be able to do a Fender video. I heard they don't care for me. Teach your builders and finishers how to string vintage tuners, and maybe we won't have an issue. Just saying. I was like, who's popping into the show? All of a sudden, I got a fourth icon on the bottom, and I didn't click any. I'm like, I'm not touching anything. What happened? All right, so what's this? Add to stream. Harley Benton. I know him.
So
I've shaken his hand. Shook his hand?
This is coming to market soon.
Oh, I thought coming to you.
And
so what's that? It's a little it's their version of a Helix?
Yeah, it's apparently it's almost like
it's their AI. All the companies
Yeah.
have their own AIs.
Yeah.
This is the Harley Benton AI.
So apparently this is going to be coming out soon. 350 Canadian.
Wow.
And the interesting thing about this is there was a 1-minute video posted about this on YouTube yesterday. I watched it. And one of the things I made in the comment section underneath is like, well, this looks awesome. I hope you make it that it's available to be used worldwide.
Right. Because of the plug.
Yeah, which was a big problem for a lot of what Harley Benton has done for a lot of their electrical stuff or things like this. It's only been made mainly for EU use.
Well, it works in the Faja land. It doesn't need to work globally. But you're selling it globally.
So interestingly enough, I got a quick response back from Harley Benton on the comment saying...
Harley Benton himself, Terry?
Well, I don't know about Harley Benton himself, but one of their reps, and apparently the rep said that's the idea. So apparently Harley Benton's finally getting the realization that, you know, we need to stop making stuff only for one market and make it that it's actually global and not just EU.
Yep.
So
just the comments.
Wow.
They check RP1. Oh my God, it's like an RP1. It's 1991 all over again. Whose technology is they
Harley
borrowed this
Benton's
time?
actually a woman solar in a heading video.
So the cool thing about it is, though, is look at the connections it actually offers.
Lots.
What does all that do?
Can you zoom in?
You can go right out to powered monitors. That's kind of cool.
Oh, here
I
we
dig
are.
that.
What do we got? It says amp control or something. Pedal 4. Nope. 2. Inputs. Send. Return. Left. All right. Turn right. So you have 1 send, 2 returns.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Then 2 outputs. What? All right.
Stereo returns. That makes sense.
Excuse me.
You got hard outs though. You can go out to powered monitors or to like a.
Got headphone jack and
That's
USB.
nice.
Both crucial. Yes.
Yeah, the big thing for me are the XLR outs.
I like the balanced outs. It's less buzzy. Yeah. By the way, hello to Jeff K and Benji Payne from New Zealand.
Well, they have balanced and unbalanced. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
quarter inch.
And
That's a
oh
lot
wait,
for something that small.
it's got an aux in on the far. Why am I pointing with my finger? I'm like, there's an aux in on the far left.
Yeah, right here. This one, Ben. See me pointing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
It's
right
not
there,
here, it's
Ben.
there.
Yeah, right there.
Now, I have a pet peeve
Sorry.
with aux-ins on certain products.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention who I have the issue with and who I don't because I can't remember who has the freaking issue. And who. A lot of those aux-ins, it's a fixed volume.
Yeah.
And it's not a good fixed volume. It's usually a little on the low
A
side.
couple decibel loss fixed volume. I just, unless it's for headphones, I have a problem with 1/8" jacks. I hate them on products because they break so easily when you have an 1/8" jack going straight in. And if it wobbles at all, you're gonna break it off, and then your headphones are screwed up too.
You know, it's funny. I actually did a deep dive on MIDI
I use
in
MIDI a lot,
1987.
but not really the complex things you can do on it.
And I went, this is too complex for me. And that was 1987. I have stayed away from MIDI ever since. I was like, no, I'm getting it, and that's too. That's just too.
Yeah, I think the only problem with traditional MIDI is if you're not used to programming it, there's no graphical interface. It's all like just looking at a screen and numbers and letters. You know, mostly numbers. If someone needs to make some MIDI software that hooks into a MIDI device unit. And I'm sure there are some, I just don't know. But you know, where you can program it all.
Oh yeah, check that out. Picture in picture.
You know,
this is new.
System.
I've been wanting to use the new StreamYard feature. I'm like, oh, we're sharing something tonight, and I totally forgot.
The interface looks great. I just wonder how it sounds. I mean, like Lawrence's comment about the RP1.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if I hit? All right, so it pushes us up into. Oh, I see how this works. Okay.
I agree, Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I used to watch this show on music stuff it was before I even started playing, but I was just into music, and then my dad's like, "There's this new thing called MIDI." I'm like, "Well, what's that for? Like guitars and stuff?" And he's like, "Seems to be." And I'm like, "All right."
Ben should
That's
like this
cool.
because it's got Telecaster knobs.
Well, it does that. Yeah.
Ben, the things you would like about MIDI that you wouldn't have to want to worry about is if you had a guitar tech and you're playing a big gig, you can just hit, one button and you all of a sudden have the perfect sound you need for the chorus and the song, and then you hit another button.
Tom, the day I start using MIDI is the day I also have a tech.
That's what I'm saying. If you
up.
have a tech, I mean, it's the technology, for what it was back in the day was great, but like Lawrence said, it's so old now, they really do need a new standard.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous that they're still using it.
Yeah, like
it would be like if we were doing this show on dial-up still. Literally.
Well, every time I look at the pin connection, I'm like, I had that on my Commodore products.
Okay, I know what I want, but I don't have. I think it's $17,000. I looked at today. It's one box unit. It's 192 ins and 192 outs patch bay in a 3-unit space. It's fully analog. So you imagine how tiny those little matrices are in there.
So what do you, individual fiber optics?
No, it's fully digitally controlled. So you have DB25 connectors on the back, and then the front, it's a clean panel, and there's 3 balanced inputs, and the power button also pulses if you're doing like setting your time. It's awesome. I mean, it's fucking insane, but but $17,000. But the front of it just looks like a space shuttle, dude. And you pull up the software, it's all digitally controlled. It's like having an analog matrix, but it's like controlled like the Line 6 Helix. Like you just drag and drop.
Pete's like, what's next? Playing through iPads? Oh, wait. Yep. Vernon Reed has an iPad as part of his live rig.
But I think where it's going, and I'm curious to see what like Lawrence thinks, I think where it's going is everything staying analog, but being digitally controlled. Because it's amazing what you can do when you digitally control analog devices like that.
Hog Rotten asks, I was given a Roland VG99. Anyone use it? I haven't used that. No, that guy gave it to you. He didn't pass it around before it. No. You mean, has anyone used one?
I have Hog Rotten. I've not used your personal one, but Ben might have.
I already have an HX Stomp Guitar Man 45. Well, sorry. In theory, I have an HX Stomp. Right, Mayhem? Said, sure, Ben. You'll have back by the end of August. Labor Day weekend. Worst case scenario.
So also,
Really? So it's now December, Terry. Labor Day weekend at the latest. Still waiting on my HX Stomp. I also have an HX Effects. So I have those to play with, but I don't very often.
So also in that same vein, not
look,
only
they can do that
is the
picture
Harley
thing
bending,
again. I dig this.
also
I think
now
the carbon fiber.
here's the problem though. This is actually being reviewed by Dave Simpson, I think it is.
Okay.
Yep. He put a video up on December 3rd doing a review of it, 51-minute video, but he gave it actually a pretty impressive
Be right back.
review. The only thing that he stated as a negative, what you see here, the whole top of it, it's all plastic. But it's like touch display, like a whole bunch of nice details to it.
Well, there we are then. All right. How do I produce this shit? There we are. I don't know what. All right. I didn't remove it, but apparently it did by clicking that one. All right. Well, there we are. Apparently I'm directing this somehow. That's weird. Tom Stuffy, hello. Unlaced high tops, you're back. Yes. All right, fair enough. So yeah, so what was the original question from who? Which was that? It was a VG99. I'm not familiar with that one. Roland.
Yeah.
True, Dan, New Jersey. Yeah, I'm not familiar enough. I just can't get into the multi-effect units. It's like I don't like your company across the board for effects. Sorry. Like I don't know what company still would be able to produce well, other than Lawrence is getting pretty damn close. Just needs a phaser and a tuner, Terry, and then he could have the full board, if you will. But
that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
everything that Lawrence has, if he stuffed it into like a all-in-one unit, can you imagine? It'd be like this big, massive, like
no, not even that,
12-foot
but
long like board.
That's why I won't use a multi-effects unit. Is because like Digitech, I like some of their stuff. I don't like all their stuff.
Yeah.
Boss, I like some of their stuff. I don't like all their stuff. I don't know if there is a company where I could go start to finish, build a virtual board, and you can say, well, Helix, yeah, but Helix doesn't make their own effects per se. They do, but they don't, but they're modeled off something else. But for one company's product.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I know you won't do a tuner, Lawrence, so we'll just do a tunerless board, and I'll use a snark, because you'll make me, but I want an LPD snark. No. LPD branded snarks? Why not?
No, it's got to be the LPD tuna.
What
TUNA.
if Lawrence
and a picture of a tuna on it?
Another tuner and makes his own graphic on it, like XTC does with pedals.
I was gonna say, like Healy and GHS mod pedals do a modded tuner. Just do a modded tuner. I don't know what you do. Like change the different color in the light bulb or something. LPD modded snark. Yeah, that's. I don't know, like put a blue LED in a Boss tuner, and there's or green. Use green. Green's cooler.
But getting back to like what you were saying, Ben, I'm totally in agreement with what like you said. There is no product. There really is no product out there other than maybe a Helix, like the high-end Helix, that has anything that comes close to actually replicating what it's supposed to be replicating.
Even there's a lot. There's the quad core. They're good. There's a lot of the expensive multi effects units, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But even then, like, yeah, but they use such a variety of companies' products within it. That's what I'm saying. Like, as a one company deal, like, I would have to sit down and go through the MXR's dirt department, because I know, like a carbon copy, perfect. Do they do a digital delay? Don't know. Don't really care. It's not that hard to do a simple one. They do a phaser I love, obviously. Flanger I love. Choruses I love. But dirt, I don't know. I've owned a Distortion Plus, didn't care for it. I owned the Zakk Wylde Distortion, didn't care for it. I owned the Full Bore Metal. That was a lot of gain. No. So yeah, I've tried the Badass Distortion. I thought it was okay, but like I need to sit down with some to, or whatever, they're lying to figure out what the hell. So maybe MXR might be able to fill that ticket.
It always looks weird
until Lawrence builds a phaser, and then Lawrence takes the cake. Because
I like Michael Krause's comment. Does anyone make a tuner that's a middle finger so you get flipped off when you're in tune?
Right. Or how about one that could also fold up and actually flip you off when you hit it? Ding! Ding!
Or it goes thumb up.
Yeah, it goes ding 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 ding. Do like a walk, don't walk thing. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, for the virtual stuff, I don't know. Helix makes a good product. The Quad Cortex seems pretty good. What's the other one? The Neural DSP thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. These all sound like
DSP,
Star Trek
Neural
spare
DSP
parts, Terry, is what I'm saying. And like, why are they all like spacey names? Where are we back to the 80s again, where we're using all these space age names, which we recycled from the 50s, essentially?
50s, yeah. Stratocaster, Telecaster.
Yeah.
Tom's still waiting for the Millennial Falcon effect. Or
No, he's waiting for the Millennium Fulcrum Trem. See what I did? The Millennium Fulcrum.
There you go.
Woo!
Like this.
Woo! Note to self: if I ever review a 2000 Strat, yeah, this is a 2000 Strat. It's got that Millennium Fulcrum.
We got to do it.
That video will get so many thumbs downs.
Today I look at
Millennium
the
Fulcrum.
Star Caster from Squire.
Oh yeah, and there's the Axe Effects too. Honorable mention to the Axe
Lawrence he's getting a Quad Cortex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what made me think of the Axe Effects, because there's the Axe Effects 9, FM9, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It's like I just hear that I'm like, it's a new Helix, but it's their Helix. Helix is like the Skidoo name for all snowmobiles, right?
Oh, there you go.
That's a nice Helix you got there. Actually, it's a Boss Katana floor. Yeah, like I said, nice Helix.
Lawrence
No,
said
actually,
even
that's
the
a
fractal
Digitech.
floor
No, they're all Helixes.
said even the fractal floor didn't stay there, just didn't measure up.
See, there we are.
Like that's the inherent thing though in saying what I just showed. That's the biggest problem, is that there's too many multi-effects pedals like that coming out now onto the market. It's getting flooded.
How many sounds are you going to use too? That's my question. I owned not a Helix. I have Helix native software, so I'm familiar with that. I don't have the hardware, but I own the full Helix native software, so I'm familiar with that. I can never get over the delay in that. There's a delay. I don't care what anyone says. People try and tell me you had it set up wrong. I had someone come in who owns a Helix and uses a floor one, and I said, all right, set it up for me. They set up, and they're like, there you go, there's no delay. I'm like, there's this little perceivable delay between your finger and the amp, and they're like, well, I don't hear it. I'm like, you don't hear it, but it's there. So I couldn't get over that. But the what's it called, what's the one that does the modeling that makes the weird noises that came out a long time ago? It looks like a lunchbox. What am I forgetting? Kemper. So I owned a Kemper for like 2.5 years, and that was as close as to use in a real amp for me, but you had to be going through a tube power amp.
Yeah.
Even the Kemper through, I don't care. It just doesn't feel right, and I don't think it ever will. Doesn't feel right.
Well, and that's kind of like what I said
told
about
it.
PV really screwed the pooch when they discontinued the Viper Tube series.
Yeah.
Because the tube aspect of it
Someone
in the
needs to
tube
wake up,
power
yeah.
state
Yep.
gave it awesome, it backed it up with enough
Someone
sound
needs
to
to-
actually make it really nice sounding.
Makes
And
like
when
a
it-
quad cortex or an Axpex 3 with a
Yep.
tube power amp and sell
Yep.
it as a head with
Yep.
limited options, but make digital knobs so you can, maybe only make 5 or 10 amps. That would sell way better than the crap they're doing now.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
like they would have had the market.
Lawrence
for
is right there
years,
with you,
but,
Tom.
I noticed it immediately.
JP
Also,
loves pedal boards, but they're no fun to lug around with everything else. Well, even one of these units, you're still lugging that around.
yeah,
Not saying it's the same as lugging around a pedal board, but it also depends on how extensive your pedal board is. Like, although, it's
I'm gonna have to try that.
it's hard to keep it under a dozen pedals. I get it. It's hard. It's hard. It's real hard. That's why
Just
you
the
build
last-
multiple pedal boards and make more than one trip and have a cart of some kind. Roadies, they help.
just to go back to the G6 Zoom, I do have a
Okay.
pricing on that.
Oh, cool.
$399 US, $529 Canadian.
I was going to say $500,
Yeah.
but I just want to say $500.
So, again, like I said, it's cramming that market. It's like they're all being around the same price range. There's nothing that's really offering like a clear incentive to get you to buy it. Like whether it be higher end processing power of it or the cost of it being making it bang for the buck.
Scott Brockway, I must have missed the first part. I see. I'm not dumping $2,000 into an amp that costs $2,000 to fix. I'd rather spend $2,000 on an amp that you don't have to pour another $2,000 into. $2,000 will buy you a lot of amp.
I was gonna say, isn't that the case of like buying some of the boutique amps out there?
You get a good amp for $2,000. I like combo amps, although now I want heads because I have 112 cabs, mini head and a 112 cab.
Yeah, I only buy heads.
Rule the world.
The only-
Yeah, I have to admit, ever since going to head and cab, I really have liked it more than having a
way more options because you can change colors.
Yeah.
And if you want more options, stop buying more amps until you have like 6 different types of cabinets if you have the room for it. Because a 15-inch speaker, 6 different types of 12-inch speakers, a 10-inch speaker, open back, close back, man, they all sound way different.
Not to sound political, but I read the thanks Lawrence like a thanks Obama. Like, don't lug around my pedal board anymore. It's too heavy. Thanks Lawrence.
Thanks, Lawrence. Hey.
Hashtag thanks Lawrence.
Things that are built solid are not lightweight usually.
Is that a new hashtag we could start in the YouTube community? All of a sudden, hashtag thanks Lawrence.
Well, except for guitars, I guess.
Thanks,
Anytime somebody
OPD.
complains something's too heavy in the world, thanks Lawrence. It's okay.
I like
It just means his pedals are well built.
I like a 212 open back for cleans, and I like a 412 close back for dirt.
I get that.
There's other stuff, though, I mean, but... Throwaway designed. Yeah, I agree.
What are we doing? Wow, we're an hour and 20 in. How did that happen?
I don't know. We're going crazy.
All right, well, we'll go for a few more minutes here, folks. Get some last-minute comments, questions in. Did we hit 12 pedals? We must have hit 12 pedals. Terry just goes for multi-effects. Here's your 12 pedals. There. Get me one of these.
I came up with 3 at least.
But it won't fit your
Non-
stocking. I have a
non-effective
big
pedals.
stocking. Mastodon is so heavy. Thanks, Lawrence. Yes.
I basically said the whole JHS legacy line of fuzzes too,
That's true.
because there's like 4 of them. So I did come up with about 6 or so.
Hashtag thanks, Pops. Well, there we are then.
Well, we're not Canadian. We don't say we have a 2-4 of cabs.
I always find it interesting in Australia. They call a 4x12 a quad box. Oh, excuse me. Maybe no.
When you guys have the chat up, mine's
Yeah.
backlogged.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone now.
Nice job. Unbelievable.
Thanks, Unbelievable.
All right.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, I haven't had a troll in a while.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So for anybody that's new to the channel, wonder why we have blue wrenches in the chats. That's why. Why do I have that on the screen? Jesus. I was trying to hide it. Hide him. Damn it.
That's kind of a bad boo-boo to do, yeah.
Oops. Blur that out.
We do not condone that in any way, shape, or form. Let's make that clear.
Hit Metalworks with like another Super Twin for Christmas. I think it was
Yeah.
like 180 watts.
And typical of someone that manner, too stupid to even know how to spell. Yeah, hashtag thanks, Unbelievable. Exactly. That will. Creepy and Zini.
What's up, man?
Love it. Love it. That will not be the thumbnail. Nope.
Oh no.
So there we are.
That guy has all metal zones on his pedal because the reverb and chorus is like diversity.
Oh, jeez.
Robot, that's perfect. All metal zones.
Eric asks, how do you earn a wrench? Generally, it's folks that moderate on other channels that I've seen around that moderate for me. A few of my patrons and channel members also moderate. And some of my friends and family moderate. There's a variety. And then if I don't happen to have any moderators on a particular night, I'll add 1 or 2 of the regulars.
Nice.
Quentin says if he was playing out, he'd still want to use his old rig. Would you be playing sitting down? That's what I'm wondering.
There you go, Lawrence. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. That's a great movie, man.
It's funny, I said that line somewhere else.
Sitting there in
Recently.
his chair and he's just lugging wrenches. Quentin, shh, stop talking
I
about that.
paid Bent Tom money for a wrench.
Show up and talk funny smack.
Hashtag Patches O'Houlihan.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Well, on that note, maybe we should wrap up the show.
That's a good spot to end it.
Yeah. So, any parting words, Terry, now that we're into December?
Nope. Other than, as you see, stash is gone.
Yeah, you're not looking like my old shop teacher anymore.
It's weird. I had mixed
Safety
feelings about it.
Safety first.
Some positive, some didn't like it. Some actually
Yeah.
liked it and didn't want me to get rid of it. And I was just like, nah, it's too much.
Oh, I liked it, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, whatever works best for you, you know?
Yeah, you be you.
Yeah. Yeah. I obviously couldn't mohawk it because of one.
There you go.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, well if that's the case, where's my money?
All right, let's see what we got here. One last thing. A Fender and a Vox, sweet. Field need for a Marshall, sure, but which one? It's like Ibanez with the amp names and the numbers. No, easy peasy. You don't have to buy another amp. Just buy an LPD 87 Deluxe. You won't be worried. Get the Deluxe.
I was actually just gonna say that one of the recent comments on a video I watched recently was somebody was saying about how now getting a specific amp for a specific reason or a specific tone is pointless because most people have made, like Lawrence, if you're looking for Marshall in a box sound, Lawrence makes many awesome ones.
Mm-hmm.
So there's almost no need to actually buy.
Or 16 if you want to go older school.
Yeah.
Older
so,
school?
You don't necessarily need to get an amp. Otherwise, I would make the suggestion of not an Origin 20, but a Marshall Origin 50. If you were actually going to look at a Marshall amp.
Nice. Yep.
And they're good price, too.
When I was talking to Richie the other week, I forgot to tell Lawrence. So Richie was talking with a buddy of his at work that also plays. And he hangs out on the boards in the forum. You know, the groups, probably on the Book of Fate. Who knows, right? But they were talking, Marshalls and boxes and stuff. And the 87 came up. People are talking about the 87, of course, right? So this guy, he got all hot and horny. And, he saw one or two demos of the 87. Ooh. So he goes into work and he says to Richie, hey, he's like, hey, have you heard of this LPD 87? He's like, oh yeah. Because, even like when I first told Rich about it, he's like, yeah, that's the one I've heard of. And it's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, you ever tried one? Oh yeah. Really? He's like, yeah. He's like, remember my buddy? Is because he always forgets about me. He's like, oh right. Your buddy's got a few LPD pedals. And he'd be like, yeah, a few. He goes back to work.
Just a few.
Sort of, bless his heart. But yeah, it was getting the rave reviews. Go figure. Let's see. BLPD is future graduation price in 6 months. Just use the Marshall money for glass saxophone. Well, yeah. Obviously, Master Switch.
There you go.
You got a lot. Actually, you can buy the 87 Deluxe and boost it with a nice drive, eh? Third run. Waiting list. We're going to do one. Although, I don't know when. We'll find out sooner or later. I got to talk to Pete about that demo. Keep forgetting to message him about it. I'll wait. Anywho's, Tom, parting words?
Go try out a bunch of different LPD pedals and see which one you like. I mean, you got 68, 74, got the 87. I mean, any of those, depending on what you want, is great. I love the 68 stacks, but if you want more like GCM 800 mod and Marshall, which is what most people seem to want, I would say 87. Or if you can swing at 87 Deluxe, I mean, I got my 87 Deluxe right next to my 68 stacked, and like I could use those two pedals in the.
You know what you shouldn't see? Because it may, I don't know, it may cause a rip in the space-time continuum is the 87 stacked. Because I don't think you could stack two 87 Reds. That might be a little. That's all the game. That's all the game. That's all.
I've done 68 stacked, like both channels stacked into each other into the 87, but it just goes.
No doubt. Yeah. But
if you do each one a little bit, it does a really cool thing.
Actually, I boost my 87 for at 11 midnight, even the red channel. I like boosting it with my Dutchman. You don't need much. You just want to, like your Cloney type low gain boost.
Here's how I go: like nice drive A into 68 stacked into 87, and it might possibly be like one of the 68 stack size with the other two, like all three on at once. But just staging the gain on each one, and that does this tasty thickness that you can't do with one pedal.
There we are. So, there goes Terry. I didn't do that.
Where'd you go, Terry?
Apparently, he's good for an hour and a half. He had a hard cap on an hour and a half.
He was like, I'm done. You guys keep talking.
Done. Nice, Robot Master. Yeah. He makes some good stuff too. Tail pedals. So yeah, parting words on my end. Well wishes to those in BC. A lot of rain. Safe travels, those in the Northeast. And just, the more northern part of the old North American, because, we're getting slush and snow and stuff, and people drive like idiots at times. So be careful. Leave a little extra space for the braking department, is what I'm saying. Because sometimes in the winter, you're driving, Tom. I know you've had it happen. You're driving in the winter, and one moment you're driving, the next moment you're just a passenger for a second and a half. You're like, oh, okay. And usually you're not alone in the car and you don't want to cause panic. So you're just like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, second and a half, or so, is not long, but it seems long. All of a sudden you're like, oh, and then you just feel the wheel will just do one of these because it grips. Again, you're like, oh, okay, we're fine.
Finally grips back to the road. Oh, we're going to make it.
Yep. And then someone will feel that wiggle and they're like, so is everything fine? You're like, oh, yeah, that was okay. What would be preceded that was not okay. So, yeah, leave a little extra distance, folks. And also, you got the wet leaves and stuff.
Terry quit the show. You'll never see him on the show again. Red Level Midnight. It was like an Irish goodbye. It was an Irish quit. He didn't even tell us. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You try to call him, number says disconnected.
Yeah. I'm assuming he lost power.
Yeah,
power flickered.
Crazy thunderstorms here too.
Yeah, because if your power flickers for a minute, a lot of times, because if I'm on a laptop, at least mine will switch to battery temporarily. Although you'll lose your internet connection. Yeah. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, if I do full power and lose my internet, it's 5 minutes for me to get back up.
Yeah,
So
on that note, folks, as always, thanks everybody that tuned in. If you're new, again, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up. Doesn't cost you a thing. If you're watching on replay, made it this far, definitely leave a comment. Shout out to the channel members. Thank you. Patrons, thank you. Mod Squad, thank you. Apparently, Terry didn't quit the show, but he moved to the basement.
They're asking if you just quit the show.
Did your power flicker?
Nope.
Oh, what was it?
PC freeze up.
Oh, okay. Because people thought you quit the show. They're like, wow, that was the ultimate quit the show. Just gone.
Oh, Dale Palmer's here.
Officially, we can say Dale at the end. So as always, folks, hold those doors open. Let that lady in head of traffic. Do good things. Good things will happen to you. Why? Down and back with Corn Dog's wife is real. So be good to each other. Be well. If you're celebrating holidays, celebrate them. Friends and family over commercialism. Just saying. And yeah, be well. Be festive. Because you know what? When we're festive, we're nicer. Right?
Yeah.
And that's all about. Let's just be nice. What am I looking for? That's the button I was looking for. Not the end broadcast. That where it says outro. Perfect. So on that note, that's Tom. That's a very washed out Terry. This is a very tanned looking me. You're watching Canucks with Guitars right here on the Ben Coombs YouTube network. Is that how it goes? I don't know. Is that all the things? Oh, right. Don't litter.